Well, we know why Bodhi invited her, yes? Good morning, everyone, and good morning, everyone on television land or internet land. I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley. I'm very glad to see you. It's so interesting as we enter into summer because people travel, you know, so I'm welcoming some of you back from travels. I'm welcoming some of you back from college visits for your children. See, I see you coming in, and so it's great to have you here today. And the chickens always come home to roost, so that's just fabulous. So we have a mission and a vision that I want everybody to get in their bones, so we're going to repeat it a lot. The vision is awakening personal transformation. That's why we're here doing what we do. And the mission, what we do, how we accomplish that, is teaching tools for positive change. So that is the mission and the vision. We'll hear that a lot more as we go through the weeks and months. So our theme for the whole year is Your Joyous Life. Now, I don't know why the Joyous Life isn't coming up there, but it's interesting what happens with the technology. But Your Joyous Life is the theme for the whole year. So if you would like more joy, you are in the absolute right place. And today, we're actually going to have a little bit of sharing in the crowd here. So just look to the person next to you. And I know the extroverts are going, oh, thank God I get to say something in the next 20 minutes. And the introverts are kind of going, oh, I don't know. But for you, just imagine that in an alternative universe, the person sitting next to you is your very, very best friend. And so it's not going to be difficult. And that's true for some of you in this dimension as well. So our theme for April is we are all, can you advance that, Ceci? We are all one. I guess you're advancing them. We are all one is the theme for April. And as we practice our connection with one another, this is a part of awakening personal transformation, because the truth, of course, is that we are all one. And as we realize that and experience that and integrate that, and as our conscious mind and our soul kind of come together in that knowingness, then personal transformation takes place. And as each one of us personally transforms, we transform our world. So the next one is our goal for this week or this month is to lighten up. And it's light, isn't it? It's just so light. Yeah, it's very, you guys are so helpful. Thank God you're there. So this lightening up is not related to circumstance. See, we have no circumstance up there. And so what we learn how to do, and this is part of the tools for transformation, is that the tools for positive change, is that we lighten up on the inside, and then the transformation of our circumstances takes place. So the title, let's see what happens with this one. The title today is so there's a picture here. There's a picture. There's a picture of a dad and a little fellow in a scooter. And so the idea is that to be a treasure of happy moments. So the title reminds me of that verse in the Bible that says, Jesus is saying it, and he says, those who see me see the Father. It's kind of a rough translation of book of John, chapter 14, verse 7. Those who see me see the Father. So what I want us to get with that title is really, those who see me see joy, or those who see you see joy. And so when we become a treasure of happy moments, that's what happens. We absolutely become a a treasure house of happy moments and joy. But even more than that, we can translate that phrase happy moments to mean other things as well. So it could mean, click, clear seeing. Is that happening? Great, great. Okay, and so these are superimposed upon the dad with the little guy in the scooter. So it's very adorable. Imagine. So the title could also be Resolve to be a Treasure of Clear Seeing, because it means the same thing as happy moments. And so those who see me see someone who is seeing clearly, and as I see clearly, then everyone can see clearly. And I'm speaking this with the pronoun that means you too as well, when you are transformed into the person that you really truly are without any of the baggage that we're all striving to get rid of. So another meaning for it, click, is to become a treasure of truth. And so for people who see you or see me when we are in our high place, they see a person who is absolutely engulfed and saturated with the truth of being. And then next, resolve to be a treasure of obvious blessings. That's another thing that means the same thing. So for people who see us as we become clearer and clearer, we become a treasure of obvious blessings, and we remind ourselves and each other of how good life really is, which the last click is we're a treasure of how life really, really is. And when we are a treasure, when we're mirroring back and when we're acting out of this place all the time of how great life really is, then we truly are awakening personal transformation. So the talk today is really how to become a clear person who lives the truth and revels in life's blessings and sees life as it really is, which is this fabulous, fabulous gift. Okay, shall we do that? And so because our mission is teaching tools for positive change, I'm going to give you some tools today so that you can actually do some new practices and get this, okay? Because it's inevitable. Life is a pass, no pass yet curriculum. And if we're still unhappy, we have a chance in this moment, and the next moment, and the next moment, to become a treasure of happy moments. So, you with me on this? You're happy about this? Okay. So I ran across a little factoid that stands in our way of being the treasure of happy moments and the treasure of truth and the treasure of obvious blessings and the treasure of expressing life as it really is. And that is that by the time a person is 15 years old, that they have heard the word no 150,000 times. So just get this, everything that a youngster wants, not everything, but many, many, many things get told no to. And life won't do this, and people won't do that, and it won't work out. And so we have this idea that what is our soul's desire is impossible because we've been told no so much, when that is really not the way life is. The way life is a great big yes for every desire we have. And we're told no, I think, because our parents were told no. And our grandparents were told no. And so it's sort of passed down. It's one of those unconscious things that we perpetuate instead of figuring out how many times we could actually say yes, most of the time. Because the way it really is, I want to read you something from Prayers of the Cosmos. Now, for those of you that were here on Easter, this was the source of my talk that was going to be happening on Easter. And we do have copies of this in the bookstore, but you can't buy it today because we have the used book sale, but you have to come next week, and then you can get this great book, which is about the Aramaic prayer of Jesus, what we know of as the Lord's Prayer, and we have memorized it in one particular way if you went to Sunday school. But the original Aramaic language is very, very, very rich. And I'm going to show you the richness of one word. The one word is translated as kingdom. And the line that we know is, thy kingdom come. So one of the ways that this line is translated in the Aramaic is, unite our I can with yours, so that we walk as kings and queens with every creature. I'm going to read that again. Unite our I can with yours, so that we walk as kings and queens with every creature. So the word that has come down to us as kingdom is the word in Aramaic that is pronounced Malkutha. So Malkutha refers to a quality of rulership and ruling principles that guide our lives towards unity. It could justifiably be translated as either kingdom or queendom. From the ancient roots, the word carries the image of a fruitful arm, poised to create, or a coiled spring that is ready to unwind with all the verdant potential of the earth. It is what says, I can, within us, and is willing, despite all odds, to take a step in a new direction. So this word, this complex, beautiful, beautiful, multi-leveled word that it has come down to us as the majestic word kingdom, has with it this ruling principle of yes, let's create together. Now that word also appears one more time in the prayer, towards the very end. And the line that we have memorized is, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. So one of the ways that this can be translated from the Aramaic is, out of you, the queenship and kingship, ruling principles, the I can of the cosmos can do anything. So this is what life is really about, is a great big yes. So, next slide. This is the whole slide. This is so fabulous. We don't see the world as it is, but as we are. That, if you take nothing else from this morning and remember that, we don't see the world as it is. Because we look at it through all of these filters that we have. We look at it through the 150,000 times we've been told no. We look at it through the hundreds and hundreds of times we've come to this center and have heard empowering language. So it is a combination of every single thing that we have lived that we project onto the world. And so it's a restatement of the basic science of mind lesson that it is done unto you as you believe. If you change your belief, all your experiences are going to be different. Change your thinking, change your life is on the billboard outside. And so that is literally, literally true. If we renew our mind, if we have the mind that was in a Christ Jesus, if we look for the good and praise it, if we think about the good all day long, our life will change. And so the work that you come here to do is never, never, never to pray to God rightly so God will give you stuff. Because God gives stuff all the time. Everything all the time. Our work is to change ourselves. So we do that. Next slide. This is the beginning of the lesson here. Changing ourselves to harmonize with the greatness of life. This is what we're after. And this has a beautiful picture on it as well. So changing ourselves to harmonize with the greatness of life. And the first one, next, is to install the happiness schedule. Okay? The happiness schedule comes to us from this little book that we are working with all year long. And it's very, very simple. And it's great. Here's the happiness schedule, and it is on page 108. I realized happiness has 4 stages. We must anticipate it, savor it, express happiness, and recall a happy memory. So this encompasses, the schedule is the past, the present, and the future. The past is we and we anticipate, we anticipate it happening. Then it's in the present, and we savor it and express it. We talk about it. Isn't this great? Isn't this wonderful? Right here, right now. Isn't this wonderful? And then we recall it when it's in the past. So anticipate, savor, express, and recall. So let's practice this. This is the first opportunity to talk to your neighbor. Not yet? And you're going to have 1 minute for this. So think of something that makes you happy. That shouldn't be too hard. And then determine whether it is something that you anticipate, something that you are savoring right now, something that you are yearning to express right now, or something that you recall that is happy. And then tell your partner what it is right now.
Anticipate it constantly. I love it when I'm there, and I express it, and I remember it all the time.
Okay, bring that to a close. Okay, just to let you know, we're going to do this a few more times, and I'm not going to tell you to switch, so you just share the time, okay? So if you didn't get to switch, then the other person start the next time. But I think that worked because, I mean, I see so many bright faces right now. And what happens when you do that? What happens when you look forward, enjoy in the present, and look backwards with something that makes you happy? You create this general flow of joy through your life. In fact, Bodhi shared with me about hiking in Point Reyes and how he's always anticipating it. He loves it, and he can't wait to tell me how much he loves it. And then he's always remembering it. So that's exactly what we want to create, just this rolling joy throughout our whole life. So the next is change our stories. So here's what happens. We have an experience. People, we've all had experiences so far today. We have this experience that doesn't really have a value judgment on it, but when we tell about the experience, it usually has a value judgment on it. And sometimes we are just in the bad habit of putting a negative spin on it. So we have an experience that happens, we have sort of a sad negative story about it, and then what happens is we're unhappy about it. This is all over the news. It's sadly all over Facebook. It's something's happened. Oh, how horrible it is, and aren't we sad? So you can just as easily change the story to something positive. And at first, it may seem like the positive side is not as strong as the negative side, but we persevere because we're changing habits, and habits take a while. So, for example, a couple of nights ago at my house, it rained. It rained hard. And my roses are just popping. And so my sad story could be, oh, it rained and all the little cups are filled with water and now they're pouting. Every single rose is pouting. But I don't want to think that way because I love my roses. And so I think, look at all the buds that were not even open enough to receive any drops of water, and the water is really, really good for the whole garden. So I can change my story. So if you are trying to do this, if you're looking at something that's, I mean, the rain and roses is not earth-shattering. But I know that some of us have some really sad stories in our life. And we don't have a sad story just to make us sad. We don't have any experience that in and of itself is horrible and negative completely to make us miserable. So if you would like to change the story and you don't know how, we have about 38 treasures of obvious blessing in this community, and those are our practitioners. And so if you want to, you can go right over here after the service and say, I have a story that I would like you to help me turn around. And our treasures of obvious blessing will help you do that. So I have another really great story along this line. I recently went to a training, which was, really like going to church for me. It was fabulous. This trainer was unbelievably off the charts. And he told this story about something I'll just start the story. He got stuck in an elevator, in a delivery elevator in the hotel. Because he was the star of the show, he used the service elevator to go up and down to his room. And at the end of the evening, when he, I think had probably had a little toddy to celebrate the evening, and it was late, it was midnight, and he had to get up really early to do the training the next day. He was going up in the service elevator and it stopped. Now just imagine that you're in this situation, and how would that be for you? Would it be difficult for you to tell a happy story? So this guy decided, and they have, cameras in these things. And so the people on the outside are going, "Are you okay, sir? Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." And he thinks to himself, well, I really have to get some sleep because, I have to teach early in the morning, and the people are saying, "We're calling the fire department, we're calling, the management of the elevator company, but, it is midnight, we don't know when they're going to come, we're so sorry, we're so sorry." He said, "Never mind." He laid down in the elevator, and because he was in his casuals, his shorts and flip-flops, he looked up at the halogen lights, and he said, "Do you know how bright 20 halogen lights are in a service elevator?" So he takes his flip-flops off and puts them over his eyes. And they're saying, "Are you all right, sir?" And he's going, "I'm fine. I just need to get some sleep." So he goes to sleep with these people checking on him every now and then. He's saying, "I'm fine. I'm really fine. I just need to get some sleep." So he's got his flip-flops over his eyes. Finally, at 4 in the morning, the police come, the fire department comes, the elevator people come, and they wake him up and they say, "You can pry the door open, sir, from the inside." So he pries the door open, and he's in the middle of the floor. The floor is like right here. So they help him climb out of the elevator. And here he is in the kitchen of this resort, and he's got the manager of the hotel, and he's got the fire department, and he's got the police, and he's got everybody that is associated with this hotel looking absolutely terrified of what he's going to do. And he goes right down the line and he hugs every single one of them and then says, "Good night." And he said, "You have never seen a line of more shocked faces." Because all he did was be kind in a situation that no one could control until it was over. No sense of getting upset. This is really changing the story. This is changing the habit. This is looking for the good in people, letting people in quickly, trusting that everything is okay, and then being grateful that everything has turned out well. That's changing your story. So the next one, Ceci, is speak greatness into others. So it's easy when we like them, right? It's easy. It's mostly easy here. We tell everybody how, Deborah Irwin and the youth and family, how grateful we are that they're doing this used book sale for us, how fabulous it all is that we have all these great books, and how fabulous they are for carting all the books in and so forth. But what happens to you when you're even thinking about speaking greatness into somebody that really annoys you? Same fabulous trainer said, we were doing self-forgiveness work. He said, telemarketers, easy to be mean to because you don't know them. You can scream at them. You can hang up on them. You can be rude to them. And he said, think about it. That telemarketer could be a single mom. This is her third job just to put food on the table, and you're yelling at her. At least say something like, keep up the great work. I know you can make it. Good job. I don't need this service, but boy, I hope the next one says yes. How hard would that be? How hard would that be? And you know, if we're going to have peace in the world, these are the habits that we are all going to create for ourselves. So we might as well do it now. Be kind, thoughtful, considerate to every single person, no matter how they annoy us. It's changing the story and speaking greatness into others. And then the last one, I mean, there are infinite practices, but the fourth and last one I'm going to talk to you about today is close each day positively. And so I have a whole little practice for you that is closing each day positively. So if you can advance it. And closing each day positively. One more. Yeah, there's a picture. The day's end practice. Okay. And we're going to do this very quickly with each other. First is gratitude. So let's pretend it's nighttime. You're saying good night, beloved. This is what I'm grateful for today. 1 minute. Okay, got more to do. And you can do this with someone that you live with, and if you don't live with someone, you can do this with a prayer partner. If you just want to do this by yourself, you can journal it. You can speak it into your bedroom. I am grateful for my roses. Next is something you did well that day. So, with your partner, tell them something that you do, that you know you do well. Something you do well. Okay, come back. The next one is something you're looking forward to. Something you're looking forward to. So share with your partners. Okay. Oh, gosh, you really liked that one. You really, really liked that one. That's great. So there's one more, and that is the personal creation moment. Now, all of these things are created, but the personal creation moment is something that you get to choose. And what you get to choose is, what do you want more of in your life? And so you find an example of that and just deepen it with your awareness. This actually becomes the going deeper practice. So if you could advance it to going deeper. Establish your personal creation moment to recognize your blessings. So this is how that works. Let's say that you wanted more love in your life. And so this day's end practice, you look in your life for something that was loving. Maybe you had a cat rub against your legs. Maybe you had someone smile at you in Whole Foods. Maybe you Maybe you read a greeting card that was about love, but there was some love in your life. You look back over your day and you find that piece of love and you go, there it is, there it is. Thank you, and I would like more of that. Or let's say that you want more surprises in your life, more happy surprises. You know, God is full of happy surprises. You can do the same thing. Look through your day and just think of something that you that was pleasant, that wasn't expected. And you say, that's it. That's what I can have more of. And if you do this over time, if you say, I want God to surprise me in a happy way every single day, and you do this practice for a couple of weeks, then you're looking, you kind of like, oh, that's the surprise today. I'm going to remember that. And then some days you're going to have a couple. Oh my gosh, I have 2 surprises. And so it grows like that. So let's say another example is that you want to laugh more. You want to see more funny things in your life. Same practice. You look back through the day, something that amused you, and God is really the greatest jokester in the whole universe. So you can create a funny relationship with God and just yuck it up with God all the time. So this is the one that I'm doing. I want to create a happy habit of exercising. And so, what happened yesterday is that I was talking to Melanie, my daughter, and I just got this idea. I said, I'm going to take a picture of when I start my walk every day, and I'm going to send it to you, and I'm going to be responsible to you. And she said, I'll do the same thing. When I go for my workout, I will send you a picture. So she sent me a picture of her foot on the Stairmaster. And I took a picture of my car in front of Costco. So, and we sent it to each other, and that's where my walk started. I mean, I walked. I mean, I did more walking than in Costco. I mean, I walked up and down the street, but okay. So, so you get the idea? See how fun this is? Spiritual practice can be hysterically fun. So just to review, to become a treasure of happy moments, to become a treasure of the truth, to become a treasure of expressing life as it really is, for yourself and for others. We look for the good and we savor it. We change how we experience conditions. We change how we see others. And we review each day for the blessings. And by doing this with this little practice, we renew our mind and we see blessings everywhere. And we see life the way it really is. Because what we're doing is we're changing our thinking and we're changing our life. So I invite you into the inner work with me. And I ask you, with all of this work, we did good work today. So to just finish up the good work, I ask you to focus on one story with a negative cast, something that is weighing on your heart. It can be a personal relationship, it can be a stymied life goal, it can be a world condition, something that is heavy on your heart. And then you simply suggest to your mind that it renew itself. And it's surprisingly like refreshing a computer page. We just click on that little spiral thingy and it updates. So we just click on that little renewing thingy in our mind. And it updates to a blank screen, just like we've had so many of today. And we get to interpret the circumstance all over again. And we simply suggest to ourselves that somewhere in this circumstance is a blessing. There is a blessing for me. There is a blessing for others. There is a blessing in this moment, and there is a sustained blessing because we are learning how to renew our minds with the absolute truth of life. And we move into that great kingdom of I can. I can with God. With God, all things are possible. And the kingdom of God truly becomes the atmosphere in which we live, the I can energy of life itself. This is our true home. Blessed be.